All right, back live with you tonight here on In Focus. Sunday Times is reporting that it has confirmation from the Financial Sector Conduct Authority that Joburg Mayor Kabelo Gwamanda operated an illegal business. It's claimed he posed as a financial service provider without the required license, allegedly scamming people into making monthly funeral insurance payments. For more on this, joined now by Johannesburg IFP caucus leader Mlungisi, Mabaso. Good to have you, Mabaso, and thank you very much for your time. According to the mayor, when he was asked about this, he says, yes, I operated a social business, that's what he calls it, a couple of years ago, which failed, and I made it very clear to my clients at the time that the business was failing, and that closes the matter in that manner, it seems. What's your take as the IFP?
Well, thank you very much, Thabo Mdluli, and let me first greet the viewers at home. Well, we have noted the comments on Sunday Times and also on News 24. And as the IFP, we feel that the response, in fact, is not sufficient because the allegations is that the executive mayor scammed innocent residents. But the response from the office of the executive mayor says the business fails, of which now contradicts what the allegations have presented to us. And we are saying as the IFP that the executive mayor must come out clear with us as to what really transpired in the business. Because as the residents of Johannesburg and as council, we need to have confidence in the mayor. But the mayor must also assist us in coming out clear so that at least we are able to understand what really happened. So the comment to say the business failed, is not sufficient, and it does not address the allegations that have been leveled against the executive mayor.
Yeah. At this point, is there anything that prevents the mayor from occupying that space as far as IFP is concerned? Because my understanding is a case, yes, was opened in May, but no arrest at this particular point, purely an investigation, I suppose, at this stage.
Well, we also believe that the law enforcement agencies must be given an opportunity to investigate so that at least we are able to determine exactly what had transpired. And I think we will be in the better position then, when looking at the outcomes of the investigation to say the mayor is, in fact, supposed to hold the office or not. But what we are saying right now is that because allegations have been leveled and the mayor is not saying anything about the allegations and the responses of the mayor, in fact, are not addressing what has been, leveled against him. While we allow the law enforcement agencies to conduct its work, they do their own investigation. But at the same time, the mayor must really take us into confidence. I mean, Johannesburg is an institution with 80 billion budget, and a person that is at the forefront, or the person that is leading at the executive level, has an allegation of this nature level against him and is not really coming out clear as to what happened. And that is our biggest worry as the organization. Hence, we've been calling for the mayor to come out clean and the mayor to take us into confidence as the residents of Johannesburg as to what really transpired. But we will allow, for law enforcement agencies, to conduct their investigations so that at least they are able to tell us exactly what happened with this business and the allegations that are leveled against the mayor. That's when then we'll be in the position to say the mayor should not hold the office or the mayor should continue to hold the office, because we must also afford him an opportunity to answer on the allegations, even to cooperate with the investigation. And we hope and believe that the mayor will cooperate with the investigation so that these investigations are concluded as soon as possible.
What would inspire more confidence, Mabaso? An outcome from a process led by the security apparatus and the justice system in the country finding the mayor to have been guilty, or as some are calling, including Action, they say that the mayor must call a press conference and bring the residents into confidence. It's more a political strategy to put pressure on the mayor than it would, certainly for me, bring about the kind of confidence that we would like to get out of the process. When you hear the police saying we're investigating, this is what we found, and this is what he's guilty of, or if he's cleared, he is cleared. That would build more confidence in the residents than the political pressure that you're trying to put on the mayor.
No, but the reality is that the mayor knows what happened. I mean, he was part of the business. So what you are saying is that he must tell us what happened. While police are investigating, he also needs to tell us exactly what happened, because the investigation will be conducted, interviews will be done with people that have alleged that the mayor, scammed them, and the mayor will then respond to that. But as it currently stands now, the allegations have been there, and the mayor is not really taking us into confidence. And I indicated earlier on to say we've just passed a budget of 80 billion, and the mayor is at the forefront, of leading the programs of the city. That will be using the very same money that has been, approved by council, and yet you have the mayor with allegations of scamming people, and these are serious, allegations, and that's why we are saying the mayor must really take us into confidence. While we are allowing for investigations to continue through the law enforcement agencies, but he knows what happened because he was involved, and he really needs to take us into confidence as to what really happened. And in fact, we supported that the mayor needs to come out, it's either in a form of a press conference, and we also expected that maybe during the soccer he will address these allegations, because at the end of the day we really need to know the kind of a person that is leading us in the city. We really need to understand the businesses that he was involved in previously, so that we are able to determine exactly whether he's the right person to hold the office or not. Yeah. Because we cannot have a number one citizen of the biggest city in Africa holding having allegations such as this one and not saying anything to the residents.
Yet 166 councillors voted for the budget of 80.9 million, over 68 that didn't vote. I think the IFP, you are amongst those that didn't vote for this particular budget. Correct me if I'm wrong. But some members of Action SA actually voted for this budget.
Well, the IFP did vote in favor of the budget, because remember the budget talked to service delivery, and we were saying that regardless of everything that is happening in the city, but the reality is that services must continue to go to people. People must still see service delivery, and that's why as IFP, on the matter of principle, we supported the budget, because we still feel that the city must operate, services must be delivered to the people, and we will deal with our own politics on the other side. So the budget was supported, and we are happy that the budget did pass, so that at least it does not affect service delivery. Whatever political instabilities in the city must not be a hindrance to deliver services to our people, and that's why as IFP we supported the budget, because we want people to get what is due to them. We want services to be delivered to our residents on daily basis. We did support the budget as the IFP on those matters of principle.
So are you saying as the IFP you believe that this budget will be put to good use with or without Mayor Kabelo Gwamanda?
Well, the reality is that whether Executive Mayor Gwamanda is there or not, services must go to our people, and we are there in council to hold the executive to account. If they don't deliver, we will then deal with them accordingly as per our standing rules and orders in council. And fortunately, in the IFP, we have, experienced councillors, because we have former MMCs in our caucus, and we have people who have been in the administration, in the municipalities in our caucus. So we know how to hold the executive accountable, and we know what is expected of us as councillors. We know what is expected of the administration. We know what is expected of the political administration. So we will continue to hold them accountable, and we are going to make sure that services are delivered to the people, and we are going to make sure that each and every transaction and each and every cent that goes out of the city's coffers goes out to change somebody's life.
And do you have reason to believe that the leadership of Kabelo Gwamanda would compromise those particular individuals and the team that has been employed by MMC for finance in terms of the tangible changes that needs to be brought on by this budget?
Can you repeat the question?
I'm saying, do you believe that the leadership of Kabelo Gwamanda will interfere in any way with the professionals that have been put in place by MMC for Finance, Dara Morero, in terms of yielding tangible changes that should be brought on by this budget?
Well, the reality is that political leaders, especially the ones in the executive, must be the one to lead, in service delivery. And they must be the one, in fact, that must win the confidence, of the residents. These allegations against the mayor, in fact, does compromise the integrity of the executive, because people, in a way, will think that the mayor and the executive that works with the mayor with such allegations, who's not saying anything about those allegations, might not really take, issues of service delivery serious, and they might be worried that, something might happen, with their money in a form of, fraud or corruption in the process. So, we might not be in the position exactly to say that, something might happen, but, we are also worried as much as the residents are worried, but we are going to keep a close eye, and we are going to watch and hold them accountable, to all the programs that they have presented in a form of business plans that were approved by council last week.
This is the view of the ANC. They're saying the mayor was vetted. That's the minimum basic requirement. The vetting would have picked up these things and any other criminal record that would have been in place. There isn't any. There are no pending criminal cases against the mayor. He is not insolvent. These things qualified him, whether or not there was this failed business, or call it a scam, in the past. Are you willing to accept that and move on?
Well, you wouldn't trust anything coming from the ANC. There's on the commission, other investigations, corruption, in the system. So if they really, trust their vetting processes, half of the ANC members would have been in jail by now, or half of them would not be deployed in position. So we wouldn't trust, in fact, anything that relates to vetting coming from the ANC. But over and above that, the cases on the allegations, I think they were open when the mayor, took over the office. So maybe their vetting was conducted before these allegations were brought forward. Remember, all of us knew about these allegations or about this so-called scam after the mayor took over the office. And we wouldn't believe that anything would have come out of their vetting processes. But anyway, we wouldn't trust, any vetting that will come from the ANC. When these allegations, in fact, surfaced for the first time, the ANC, in fact, dismissed them. And the mayor, in his response, in Sunday Times and News 24, the mayor is saying, yes, I did run a business. Yes, the business failed. And that's not what the ANC said when they responded for the first time. So we wouldn't really, trust what the ANC is saying on this matter. Hence, we are relying on the mayor himself to come out very clear, and we are relying on law enforcement agencies to conduct the investigation so that at least we are able to know exactly what had happened. But not what the ANC is saying. We wouldn't trust and believe that they would be honest with us on this matter.
Mlungisi Mabaso, I appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming on. Johannesburg IFP caucus leader there, Mlungisi Mabaso.